Hello, my name is Tracy Paliath, and I am the Executive Director of the Baltimore County Ethics Commission. This video is designed to help answer any questions board members or commissioners of the Agricultural Land Preservation Advisory Board, Board of Trustees of the Community College of Baltimore County, Ethics Commission, Board of Health, Board of Library Trustees, Board of Recreation and Parks, Board of Social Services, Telecommunications Advisory Panel, and the Workforce Development Council may have as they complete their online financial disclosures. I am always here to help you if you have any questions. Please contact me at 410-887-5904 or at ethicscommission@baltimorecountymd.gov. This is the first thing you will see when you enter ethicsdisclosures.baltimorecountymd.gov into your computer. Please make sure you are using Google Chrome and not Internet Explorer as your web browser, as the program only works properly with Google Chrome. Also make sure that your screen is maximized so that you can see all of the words on the screen. You will be asked to enter an email address and a password that you will create. Please pick a password you will remember and store it securely according to Baltimore County policy. You will notice that there is a Forgot Password link that you can click if you forget your password. If you have never signed up for a financial disclosure account before, please check Create New Account. You will be prompted to re-enter your email address to create your new account. Next, you will be prompted to enter your new password twice. There are instructions for setting your password in the list below. If you are starting a new disclosure, select New Financial Disclosure. If you are leaving your position on a board or commission, select End of Service Financial Disclosure to do your exit disclosure. You have 60 days from the date you end service to your board to file an end of service disclosure. Underneath, you will see a box that says My Financial Disclosures. You can select this box to work on a disclosure that you have already started but haven't yet completed. You will notice yellow boxes at the top of the page. Those boxes tell you where you are in completing your disclosure. In this case, you are just creating your profile. You will not be allowed to skip ahead to the yellow boxes that are grayed out. This page is the first page for filling out your profile. Please fill out your identifying information and indicate that you are a Baltimore County board member or commissioner and the name of the board or commission you serve on. The question above those boxes asks if you are running for office. Please indicate no unless you are in fact a candidate for office. You will also see a box to enter your secondary email address. Make sure you pick an address that you use so that email regarding financial disclosures will come to you. Scroll down and enter your home mailing address, not a P.O. box or business address. Then click the Create Profile button. Go back up to the yellow boxes and you will see that the Fill-in Schedules box has turned bright yellow. Click on that box. You are now going to go through the disclosure schedule by schedule, starting with Schedule A. Schedule A has to do with real property you rent or own. You only disclose this property if the property is subject to a lease or other contract with your board or commission. You would also disclose the property if you have a co-owner who has a lease or contract with your board or commission, or is regulated or licensed by the board or commission on which you sit. There are a couple of other circumstances in which you would disclose your property, and the thing to know is that they all require that the property has a connection to your board or commission. If there is no connection, you do not need to disclose. This is an example of how you fill out Schedule A if your answer to the question was yes. Did you own or rent any real property as described above in Maryland or any other state or country? This is what you will see after completing the Schedule A if you answered yes to the question. Next is Schedule B, where you report any securities or ownership interests, like stocks, bonds, or partnership interests you had in a corporation, limited liability partnership, or limited liability company, if you had an interest of greater than 3% in entities regulated by your board or commission. You would also disclose if you had an interest greater than 3% in an entity negotiating a contract or that has a contract with your board or commission. Again, there are a couple of other circumstances in which you would disclose ownership interest in a business entity, and once again, the key point to remember is that you only disclose those ownership interests in which there is a connection to your board or commission. This shows you how to complete Schedule B if you have any securities to disclose. And this shows what the final schedule will look like if you enter information in Schedule B. Schedule C requires disclosure of non-corporate business interests that did business with your board or commission. Again, you would disclose interest of greater than 3% in entities regulated or licensed by your board or commission. The key here, once again, is that there are other circumstances in which you would disclose your interest in non-corporate entities, but only if your board or commission has a connection to that interest. Schedule D is where you list any gifts you have received during the reporting period. You do not have to report gifts from your immediate family or any kind of political contribution. As you see, you are responsible for disclosing gifts worth more than $20 or multiple gifts worth more than $100 if the gift was from a registered lobbyist, an entity engaged in activity regulated or controlled by the county, or an entity that did business with the county. But you are not required to disclose meals or beverages consumed in the presence of the donor or sponsoring entity, or ceremonial gifts or awards of insignificant monetary value. You must also disclose any gifts that meet these criteria that were given at your direction. This shows you more about how to fill out this schedule if you answered yes to the Schedule D question. This shows you how to fill out the remainder of this schedule if you answered yes to the Schedule D question. Schedule E is where you disclose debts and liabilities that you owed to entities that did business with or were regulated by your board or commission. If there is no connection to your board or commission, there is no need to disclose. This shows what you will see if you fill this schedule out to indicate that you have debts and liabilities to an entity controlled by your board or commission. On this schedule, Schedule F, you will report any salaried employment you held during the reporting period, regardless of whether your employer did business with the county. Any unsalaried positions you held, such as officers or directorships, must be reported only if those entities did business with the county. And now we have a look at what Schedule F looks like when you fill out your paid employment. Schedule G asks whether your spouse was employed by your board or commission. Here's what Schedule G will look like if you say yes, that your spouse was employed by your board or commission. This shows you how to complete Schedule G if you have a spouse who worked with or did business with your board or commission. This shows you what your final response will look like after filling in Schedule G information. If you answer no to the Schedule G question about your spouse, you will have two statements pop up for you to affirm. One that you are answering no to because you do not have a spouse. The other that you are answering no to because your spouse was not employed by and does not do business with your board or commission. You need to pick one statement to answer no to. You only disclose your dependent child's employment or business interests on Schedule H if the employment or business interest was with the county, was with an entity regulated by the county, or was with an entity that has contracts greater than $10,000 with the county. You must report any relationships you have with a county government agency for compensation. You must also report any contractual relationship you have with a county government agency and any transaction you had with a county government agency that involved monetary consideration. Schedule J asks if you or any member of your immediate family has an interest in any businesses regulated by your board or commission. Next, we see what a completed Schedule J will look like if you answered that you or a member of your immediate family has an interest in a business regulated by your board or commission. Schedule X is where you put any other information you would like to disclose to the Ethics Commission. Filling this schedule out with additional information is strictly voluntary. When you have completed all schedules, go back up to the top of the screen and click Overview in the yellow box. This is where you confirm your financial statement at the top of the screen. You are also required to electronically sign the statement. Next, you will see your electronic signature pop up and you will click on the Submit Disclosure button. Once you have clicked on the Submit Disclosure button, you will receive a message that your disclosure is complete. If you do not receive a message, your disclosure has not been recognized by the system. Thank you for joining me for this explanation on how to file your ethics disclosure. Please contact me at the phone number or email address on your screen if you have any questions.